Hey, what's going on, everybody? Welcome to the Thriving Money Show. This is my podcast. If you're watching on YouTube, you're already on YouTube, but maybe you're watching on Facebook, LinkedIn, Instagram. No matter where you're watching, I'm looking at all of the comments today. So you can follow me on YouTube by typing in Marvin Mitchell, the Thriving Money Show. And please make sure you like and subscribe to that show. So today, what I'm talking about ways to become an instant millionaire. Yes, there's a book that I read called The Instant Millionaire by Mark Fisher, and I tell all of my students to read this book too. And I'm going to be giving you some of my takeaways from the book. We're going to talk about what I've done, how reading this book actually helped me to become a millionaire, and how it can help you to become a millionaire too. So again, this book is called The Instant Millionaire by Mark Fisher. So let me know if you're watching. If you're watching in the chat, let me see you put some fireballs in the chat. Let me know you're paying attention to what I'm saying today. And let's go ahead and get started. The Thriving Money Show. All right. So what this book is, it's really a fable. It's a very short read. But I like the book because it gets straight to the point. It really hits you in some areas that you're lacking, that you have been, lowering yourself and who you are, and how you're selling your soul for pennies when you're really worth millions of dollars. Okay, so appreciate the fireballs. So get this. A lot of people are just waiting for the perfect conditions to get started. But one of the things that this book notes is people who waste time waiting for the perfect conditions will never get anything done. The idea to take action is now. Why is that important? Because you got so many professional procrastinators. And this is what I say about procrastination. Procrastination is the assassination of your destination. People who are winners, they always take action now. What does now mean? No opportunity wasted. The reason why I believe that a lot of people are poor, P-O-O-R, is that they pass over opportunities repeatedly. And one of the things you have to learn how to do is to take advantage of the opportunity of a lifetime during the lifetime of the opportunity. We all have our amount of opportunities in life. Some people take advantage of those opportunities, and some people, they just sit on the sidelines waiting for the next opportunity, the next opportunity. The next opportunity never comes because you haven't even taken advantage of the opportunity that you do have. So if you want to succeed in life, you have to make sure you have no choice in the matter. Only a plan A, no plan B. It's got to work, right? You have to put your back against the wall. People who refuse to take risk because they don't have all of the elements in hand, they never get anywhere. When you cut off all exits and put your back against the wall, you mobilize your inner power. If you want something to happen with every fiber of your being, then don't hesitate. Put your back against the wall, right? So there was a saying that we used to say is burn the ships, go to war, take no prisoners, go out and claim what is yours and do it or die trying. And it was basically about a person who was going to war. And many of his people were wanting to give up. They were wanting to turn around. And he was like, hey, if you want to succeed, everybody who want to leave, go ahead and leave now. So the people who wanted to leave, they left. The people who stayed, he said, now do this, burn the ships, because there is no retreat. It has to work. There is no plan B. So if you have a plan B, that means you don't feel very strongly about your plan A. So one of the things that I had to do is I wanted to put my back up against the wall. I was going to burn the ship. I was going to be successful or not. So I know I wrote a check to myself for $1 million. And I wrote another check to my mom for $10,000. And it was post dated. And I was going to give my mom that check no matter what. So I had to succeed if I were to give my mom that check and if I were going to be able to cash that $1 million check. So I had to put my back up against the wall and make it happen. So what is stopping you from putting your back up against the wall? Because when you write that check to yourself and you believe that you can achieve it, the amount that you write down will feel insignificant. When you increase your savings, at first it can seem like it's a lot, that I'm increasing my savings from 5 to 10%. But in no time, it will feel insignificant. See, whenever you take action and you commit to something, your mind allows you to focus on how you're going to get it. And most of the time, you're going to super exceed that mission pretty easy. So if you don't put your back up against the wall, either you're believing that you can't do it, or you believing that your circumstances are greater than your abilities. If you were absolutely convinced, you would sign that check, and you would do what you had to do in a heartbeat. The same way, like for mentorship, if you were convinced that a person knew how to help you, and you were convinced that I could help you, for example, make $100,000, you would not hesitate to pay me $10,000 because you're sure that I can help you make that $100,000. If you hesitate to put that $10,000, it means that you don't really believe that I can help you, or you really don't believe that you can do it. So you do need to be a little cautious. Don't just give your money to anybody, right? Being cautious will actually save you from a lot of mistakes. Just make sure that you don't miss out on opportunities because you're too busy trying to avoid a mistake. Many people celebrate when they did not take action and prevented themselves from a mistake. However, they fail to think about all of the opportunities they missed by the same cautiousness. I've learned to take action, imperfect action. Even the wrong decisions could lead to the right decisions eventually. I could fail 5 times and eventually win, while the skeptic is still waiting to take the first action. I realized that as long as you keep going, you never really fail. John Maxwell said it best. He said, sometimes you win, sometimes you learn. You have to learn to embrace mistakes and temporary failures, because many times those very same failures or your very same your very same seeds to success. You cannot grow your harvest because you haven't failed enough. You got to fail forward. So that's very important. Too many people are afraid to fail, and because they're afraid to fail, they never take any action. There's a story in the Bible about that. It's called the story of the talents. There was one person that the master came. He gave he gave everybody talents, which is money, according to their ability. One person he gave 1 talent, another he gave 2, and another he gave 5. Well, the person he gave 1 to, he was afraid to take advantage of opportunities. He just wanted to make sure he didn't lose it. So what did he do? He buried his talent in the ground. He said that I don't want to lose this. I want to make sure this money is here when the master gets back. Everybody else doubled their money. So when the master came back, he actually found out that the person who had the 1 talent didn't invest it, and he took that talent away and gave it to the person who doubled his 5 to 10. So I want you to understand the hero in that story wasn't the person who doubled his money from 5 to 10. The hero of that story was actually the master, because the master was able to put himself into a position where he invested his money. He went away on the beach on vacation. He came back to collect his money. He was cautious. He did his due diligence. He didn't give everybody the same amount of talents. But once he found a loser, he took away from the loser. He gave to the winners, and then he invested it again. He went back on vacation. So instead of just working just to get paid, he found a way to work hard one time, invest his money, and then get paid. And that's what we're attempting to have you to do, is learn how to be a master manifester of passive income. How can you convert your active income to passive income? Most people don't do so. But if you're going to be financially successful, you have to learn how to convert your active income to passive income. So what if you were offered a job? What would you want to know? Well, the first thing you want to know is how much it pays. When does it start? You would probably want this in writing, right? Well, life gives us exactly what we ask of it. So if the request is vague, whatever you get will be vague. If you ask for a minimum, you will get a minimum. That's the mistake. Most people don't pay you what they believe you're worth. They pay you what you believe you're worth. Successful people can answer that question. Life wants to give you exactly what you expect from it. 9 out of 10 want to get rich, but they don't know what they want. They've never had clarity. So if you want to be rich, the first thing you have to do is you have to establish a deadline. So I want you to establish a deadline. That's why I wrote the check to myself, and I wrote it 1 year from that particular date, because I wanted a number, I wanted a deadline, I wanted it to be smart and measurable goals. Most people overestimate what they can accomplish in a year, but they underestimate what they can accomplish in 10 years. So I want you to do that now. I want you to write down a number. Write down a number that you believe that you can get in 1 year. Realistically, write down a number that you believe you can get in 1 year. In fact, feel free to put it in the comments. If you're on YouTube, if you're on Instagram, if you're on Facebook, LinkedIn, make sure you put it in the comments. What is the number that you're going to get in 1 year? All right. So whatever amount you wrote down represents what you think you're worth. External circumstances don't matter. This is what people don't understand. Your circumstances don't matter. They don't control your life. Everything that happens is a mirror image of your thoughts. If we accept the illusion that external factors control your life, it's all a matter of attitude and a product of your thoughts. Change your thoughts, change your life. Analytical and rational people just ruffle with this, and it becomes roadblocks to great achievement. Successful people don't let their circumstances bother them. But because of them, it causes them to reach deeper to accomplish it because they were convinced they could get rich. Once you wrote it down, you expand your self-image. That's why it's so important to write that goal down. The greatest limitations are the ones that you place on yourself. Expand your mental image and you can expand your life. Explode your limitations and you can explode your life. The figure exposes your limits. People who fail are the least conscious of this phenomenon. If you write down a bolder figure and you keep incrementally increasing it, you'll be surprised at how much you can stretch out your mind. People turn their mental limitations into habits. And they can work positive or they can work negative. When you write down a number, the ones who laugh at it, those are the people who will never get rich. Life gives you what you ask of it. As long as you're not used to the idea, you will not be a millionaire. So to become rich, you just need to create a new self-image. So one of the ways that I got rich is when I wrote down my goals, I actually wrote down a number that was realistic that I can actually get to. And I actually doubled that number every year. So in 6 years, I would become a millionaire. So for example, to become a millionaire in 6 years, you just got to have $50,000 the first year. And if you double that, that's $100,000. If you double that, that's $200,000. If you double that in year 4, that's $400,000. You double that in year 5, that's $800,000. And if you double that, that's $1.6 million in 6 years. So when I started doing this, my number was just 25,000. I thought, well, maybe I can do it in 7. So it was 25,000, then I doubled it to 50, then I doubled it and I doubled it and I doubled it. Some of you are in a position where you might just be looking to get to $10,000 and just double it, 10,000 to 20 to 20 to 40. So that gives your mindset time to allow that seed to plant for you to hit that goal. So I just want you to dream to get rich. Then I want you to quantify it. By the way, it didn't take me 7 years to hit that millionaire. It took me 4 years to hit that millionaire status because your subconscious mind doesn't know the difference between the truth and a lie. So if you tell it and it doesn't know time. So if you tell it that you're going to do something in 6 years, then guess what? All they know is the end result. So your mind is automatically going to start working toward that end result. So that's a very powerful thing. You might just be wondering, how do you find the extra $5,000? Just increase by 5,000. Don't worry about how you're going to get it. Just write down the goal, just write down the amount and write down the deadline. Your unconscious mind, your subconscious mind will do the rest. You don't have to know all the details. Don't let yourself be paralyzed by fear. By doing nothing, you want to, by doing nothing, you want to get your raise. You won't get your raise by doing nothing. So don't hesitate. So again, if your goal is to increase your income by 10,000, and the date is 1 year from now, most people are way too conscious. They don't believe they are worth it. They don't believe they're worth anything. So there's a story that they talked about in this book about how this guy was looking for a job, and the job was willing to pay him $80,000. But the guy came and he literally came and said, he knew his worth. He said, I just want to let you know, I'm not going to take a penny below $50,000. So you know what they paid him? $50,000. But the job was willing to give him $80,000. The job actually saw him. They were actually afraid to present him with an $80,000 job because they thought he wouldn't accept it. So when they came and he said that $50,000 number, they were actually surprised. But they paid him what he believed he was worth. So life gives us exactly what we expect from it. No more, no less. We tend to forget that it is generally ready to give us much more than we even realize. Words are extremely powerful. This method has made me a millionaire. The stronger your character become, the more the words you utter will become. Everything you affirm is strengthened by the fire of repetition that will help it to shape more quickly. You have to do the exercise. No one can do it for you. So repeat this formula day in, night, at least 50 times per day, maybe 100. Tap your fingers 5 times with both hands. At first, you will find that it won't be easy and your mind will wander. After repeating it 10 times, you will think of something else. Start over at 0 until it turns into 50 that's uninterrupted. If you can't get this elementary discipline, then you just need to give up on being rich. But you can do it. All you need to do is persist. Read the formula aloud. One of the formulas that I said to myself is money comes to me easily, frequently, and abundantly. Money comes to me easily, frequently, and abundantly. Money comes to me easily, frequently, and abundantly. Then I would repeat to myself, I'm $1 million a month producer. I'm $1 million a month producer. I'm $1 million a month producer. It's almost like going to the gym, right? When you go to the gym to exercise a repetition of your physical body, you also got to exercise the physical manifestation of your realities and your dreams. But if you're not exercising that, guess what? Most likely your negative thoughts are dominating. See, the spirit is willing, but the flesh is weak. The flesh wants you to think negative things. The spirit wants you to say positive affirmation and think of positive things. If you don't do anything, and you might say, well, I'm not going to think negative and I'm not going to think positive. Guess what? It's automatically going to revert to negative, because if you leave a garden alone long enough, weeds are going to sprout, even if you do nothing. You have to take care of it. You have to prune it. You have to make sure that it works for you, right? So I want you to say it like a mantra. I want you to record it. At first, you might seem embarrassed by listening to the sound of your own voice, but gradually you will get used to it. The goal you laid out, which seemed big at first, will soon appear attainable. This is why one of the reasons why one of the tricks that I say to myself is that it's only $1 million. It's only $1 million. It's only $1 million. When I first started to say it's only $1 million, I sounded crazy because it didn't feel like it was only $1 million. But see, your mindset will never give you more than your mind can conceive. Whatever your mind believes that is difficult, that's all your mind will get you. Right? So you got to have your mind believe that it's simple. So when I started to say it's only $1 million, it's only $1 million. Eventually, I really began to believe it's only $1 million. So when I actually got the $1 million, guess what? It didn't seem like it was that much of a, it wasn't much, because I already expected it, because I kept telling myself it's only $1 million. This is going to help you to become an instant millionaire, because it soon will become a part of your reality. And if you believe in faith, once you get it as part of your reality, you can sense it, you can smell it, you can touch it, you can believe it, then it's already happened. The only thing that's missing is the time for that seed to actually manifest. See, true wealth is not just an acquisition of finances. Never lose sight that if you lose happiness, you lose everything. That's important as well. This is not just getting money. The pursuit of money can easily turn into an obsession that can prevent you from enjoying life. And as the saying goes, what profits a man if he should gain the whole world and lose his own soul? Money is an excellent servant, but it's a tyrannical master. One of the richest men in the world, John Rockefeller, was so crushed by the weight of his worry and being betrayed that he looked like a little old man by the age of 50. His stomach was so out of order that all he could stand was bread and milk. He was in constant fear of losing his money and being betrayed by his associates. He couldn't enjoy it anymore. In a way, he was actually poor when he was rich than when he was actually poor. People who are seeking riches work relentlessly to achieve their ends. The first money triggers their deep-seated ambition and makes them crave for more and more. When they start earning big money, they become afraid of losing it. So one of the things, the formulas that I like to tell myself every day, and this formula has helped me to avoid this trap, is I'm getting better. Every day in every way, I'm getting better and better. Every day in every way, I'm getting better and better. Every day in every way, I'm getting better and better. This can work for health. This can work for money. This can work for pretty much anything in your life. If you tell yourself every day in every way, I'm getting better and better. Every day in every way, I'm getting better and better. Every day in every way, I'm getting better and better. You're actually going to put yourself into a position to feel like you're getting better and better. And your subconscious mind will give you ideas that's going to help you get better and better. The more often you repeat it, the greater the impact. Most people want to be happy, but they don't know what they're even looking for. Even if they did find it, how would they even recognize it? The same as people searching for wealth. They want to be rich, but when you ask them directly how much you will earn in a year, they don't even know how to answer it. Never taking the time to clearly say what they wanted. Most people don't even take the time to think about their goals or write down the goals. So here's an exercise for you I want you to think about. If you were to die tonight, could you tell yourself, if I were to die tonight, could I tell myself that I have completed everything that I set out to do that day? When you do this each and every day, you will feel free to leave the world each day. You would be doing what you love doing. People who don't believe do what they enjoy. People who don't believe what they do and they don't do what they enjoy, they're not happy. They spend their time daydreaming about what they would like to be doing. And when they are not happy, they are not ready to die at a moment's notice. So if you knew you were going to die tomorrow, would you change your plans for today? Wouldn't you take different actions? You would probably start by making the necessary arrangements and say goodbye. If this only took 1 hour, what would you do with the remaining 23 hours? Unhappy people who don't enjoy their life will tell you they would do something totally different. What would they do? Why would they do something they hated with 24 hours left to live? Those in the second column would do the exact same thing they have been doing every other day. Why would they change anything? Their work is their passion. They would do it until their time is up. Think about that. You're in a powerful position. If you knew that you had 24 hours, you tell yourself, I wouldn't do anything different. Mediocrity is never doing what you love out of fear of what others might think or losing your security. A security that is an illusion more often than not. So, if I were to die tomorrow, what would I do with the last hours of my life? Would I agree to go in being a shadow of my true self, lacking in self-respect, forcing myself to do something I hate? Imagine you invited a friend to do some chores. Would you give the dirtiest to your friend? Probably not. So why force yourself to do a task that are degrading? Why be your own worst enemy? Why not become your own best friend? So for me, I would probably make sure that my family knew about all of my insurance policies. I would call all of the members of my family who I love, maybe have a family gathering, pouring into them and giving them the secrets I've learned about life and happiness in this earth and pouring into them things that I've learned. I hug my family a little bit more closer. I make sure that the transition plan for my business was off and running and continue to pour into my family. I would set my family up for success. I would spend a few hours training my team, getting them elevated to the next level. These are some of the things that I would do. And this is another reason why wealthy people, they rarely retire. Retirement is not in the Bible, you all. People who love what they do, why do they have to think about retiring? Most people waste their life by clinging to a security that is mediocre at best. They believe that wealth is reserved for others or for the people with more talent. Why are they tricked to believe these illusions? Because of their mind. Beliefs are an illusion. Strengthen your mind and circumstances will yield to your desire, and you will have control over your entire life. So we talked about every day and every way I'm getting better and better. This is another manifestation that's going to really help you. It's not a manifestation, it's an affirmation. Be still and know that I am God. This is the most powerful manifestation. Be still and know that I am God. Because what it's going to do, it's going to calm your mind. It's going to take away your anxiety. It's going to let you know that most things that are great that you achieve are not out of doing, it's out of being. So how can you be who you need to be? The only way you can is to be still long enough to know who you are and also to know who God is. I want you, when you get into that state, then I want you to express your desires in life, everything that you want out of life. I want you to translate those notes into daily desires. Don't hold anything back. It will show you the limits of your mentality. Fill in as many details as possible. Don't put an exact address or a house. I want you to write this down. I want you to make sure that your dreams are not harmful to others. This will show you who you really are. The more specific you are, the more powerful. Your thoughts are powerful. The stronger your mind becomes, the more power you have to believe. A highly creative side has been blinded by years of faulty education, but it's still alive. It still exists. You see, your dreams have eroded just like raindrops hitting granite, but guess what? They still exist. They're still alive. You must learn to listen to that tiny inner voice. This is your intuition, the voice of your soul. Concentration. Concentration is very powerful because the better you concentrate, the more power you're going to have. It's going to help you judge. It's going to help you discover who you are. It's going to give you realistic, true sense of the word. Most people are constantly distracted. They're never in their present moment. Their mind is full of fears and failures. When your mind hits a certain level of concentration, you can leap over your problems. Afterwards, the image of yourself will change. You will know who you are and whose you are. Okay? So it's very important. So always remember that at a certain height, there are no clouds. If there are clouds in your life, that just means that your soul hasn't soared high enough yet. Many people make the mistake of fighting against their problems. The heart of the rose will lead you above the clouds. Don't waste your time chasing the clouds. They will simply reappear. So you may be thinking, I still don't know the field which I will make $1 million. I don't know what I want to do. The goal is to gain a fortune and to have a peace of mind. Don't worry about exactly what it is. Put your trust in life and in the lower of your mind. First, set your goal and ask your deeper conscious to steer you toward the path that will lead to riches. Start by asking and then just wait. You don't need to know the answers. You must find work that is satisfying to your heart. Get in tune with your true nature. Meditate more and more and more, and you will discover the mysterious of your existence on this earth. With your head and your heart, you will connect with your true essence. So you may be thinking, I want to start, but I just can't come up with the money to start. I want to start a business, but it might take $25K. Guess what? You can find the money. You can find the money. I want you to look into yourself. Don't be like people who give up before they even try. Don't take action inwardly thinking you want to succeed. All your mind, all your might, all that you can muster, I want you to start off believing the situation exists in your mind and it will attract it to you. Don't even give room for doubt. Doubt and optimism are in constant conflict. Doubt, just like faith, will materialize in your life. If you believe you can get a loan, then you will. If you only had an hour to get $25K to set up your own business, what would you do? What if somebody held a gun to your child's head and said, you got an hour to get me $25,000? Are you going to find a way to get to that $25,000 or no? Okay. A lot of times, all you have to do is just ask. People seldom ask, right? There is no reason that acquiring money in the future should be any more difficult for you. It's sad that many people believe that money is hard to come by, or you have to work hard to get it. Most people, they never win because they believe that it has to come hard when it truly doesn't. In fact, the value of work is to strengthen the fiber of your mind. When you have earned a lot of money, and you will, if you apply these secrets, You will realize what counts is your mental attitude, the power of your desire, and being able to channel that power with a specific monetary objective. Outside circumstances only reflect that state of your mind and your innermost convictions. Remember, when you need money, if you are positive, you can get that money quickly and easily. As soon as doubt invades your mind, think about when you asked for something and it came. Remember all you have to do. If you are convinced that when you ask, you will receive, and act as if it's already yours, then you will get it. When you do have doubts, apply self-suggestions. Turn your words into commands. When your mind is powerful enough, each suggestion becomes a royal decree. Your words and reality will become one. Your requests will come quicker and quicker, and then instantaneous. Don't let the power of your words turn against you. Use it for your good. Watch the words. Watch what you say. The Bible says death and life is in the power of the tongue. As a man thinks in his heart, so is he. You have not because you ask not. Don't imitate the man who buried his coins. Don't let the fear be your guide. Fear is your worst enemy. You must conquer it. God did not give you the spirit of fear, but of power and of love and of a sound mind. Be fearless and be bold. Anyone who, under the pretext of caution, in reality, they bury their money, is burying their gift, and they're not worthy of that gift. They're not worthy of that money. Money must flow freely to be able to multiply. See, money is energy. The energy must flow freely. If you're blocking the energy, sometimes people are blocking their harvest because they're holding on to their seed. In order to get the harvest, you must first freely let go of the seed to allow it to grow. Be free. Believe. Believe when you plant a seed, it's going to multiply itself 10 times. So these secrets are for all of your goals. It's not just the money. It was a way to show you the power of your mind. It's freedom and how you can create wealth. True freedom is found in detaching. Detaching from the money is going to allow more of the money to come to you. Right? Once that discipline is ready, the master will appear. The soul is eternal and travels to help others fulfill its destiny. The encounters you have is never because of coincidence. Discover who you really are. The truth will set you free. A method that has been tested and proven is completely worth it. So within 6 years, you will be a millionaire. At that time, you will be free to undertake the steps necessary to share what I just told you to others. So the big thing you have to do, you all, is you have to set the 6-year goal. Double your money every year, 50,000 to 100,000, 100,000 to 200, 200 to 400, 400 to 800, 800 to 1.6 million. And I want you to write down a definite plan of how you're going to get to that double every year. It's not just saying, oh, I'm going to make $1 million. Like, you're broke, I'm going to make $1 million this next year, and I'm going to make 10 million the next year. Well, sometimes wealth inherited quickly is soon diminished. Sometimes it's not just about inheriting the money quickly. It's about having a plan and working on your mindset to get to that plan. So what are you going to have to do to develop yourself to be ready to keep that money once you get that money? So sometimes it's easier to think about, how can I get to 50,000? Then how can I get to 100,000? How can I get to 200,000? How can I get to 400,000? And then by that time you get the $1 million, the $1 million is going to be ingrained in you. And you're going to turn that $1 million to 2 million, and 2 million to 4 million, because the hardest million to make is always the first million. But once you do that, you're going to keep making the money over and over and over. So I'm reading out of a book called The Instant Millionaire. These are some of the notes that I took from a book called The Instant Millionaire by Mark Fisher. So make sure you get that book. Make sure you read that book. It's a very short read. It's a fable. Hopefully this answered many of y'all questions. I want to see you all win. And the way that you're going to win is by taking action. By taking action. Too many people don't take action. But you will take action. Don't give yourself room to doubt. The minute you're starting to doubt yourself, I want you to awaken yourself. Speak positive affirmations over your life. Understand that doubts just come and go, just like the wind. But you got to believe so strongly that you put out that manifestation, and that you believe in that manifestation, that it will come to truth. It will come to reality. So I'm Marvin Mitchell. This is the Thriving Money Show. I want you to like my channel, subscribe to my channel, follow me on YouTube, the Thriving Money Show with Marvin Mitchell, and make sure you share this with as many people as possible. So I'm going to save this on my Facebook I'm going to save this on my YouTube channel. I might even save it for a day or two on my Instagram. So watch this, rewatch it. If you came in late, make sure you rewind it back, watch it again, and tell a friend to tell a friend to tell a friend. I'm also doing a 5-day challenge where I'm teaching you the 5 levers to financial prosperity. So if you want to be a part of this 5-day challenge to transform your life, I want you to visit the website www.transformyourwealthchallenge.com. So that's www.transformyourwealthchallenge.com. Buy you a ticket. If you haven't bought a ticket to it, I'm telling you, I've helped thousands of people change their lives financially. And I want to help you too. Just go to transformyourwealthchallenge.com. You can even type in transform in the chat. You might even get an automatic DM if we set that up. So again, Transform Your Wealth Challenge. I'm Marvin Mitchell. This is the Thriving Money Show. Appreciate y'all. God bless y'all. Good night.